Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast, go. Apple says their photo checking is completely harmless, above board, and can't be modified into anything else. Want a TouchID keyboard? Apple will sell you one for not a surprising big amount of money. And Jennifer Lawrence's superpower may be her ability to wrestle a large amount of cash out of Apple or Netflix. All of that, and that's probably more than enough, tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And welcome everyone to the Mac to the Future Livecast Go. We really appreciate the fact that you are here with us this evening. I am one of your hosts, Guy Serrano, but of course I am not alone. I'm also joined by Mr. David Ginsburg. How are you today, sir?
I am doing well, thank you. Good to be here. And dodging a few tornadoes here today as we record this, but none coming this way. But
thank God.
Active all around me, though. So, but doing good. Glad to be here.
Very, very good. I'm so glad. Now, Warren can't be with us this evening.
He's at the beach house.
Oh, it must be nice. He is at the beach house. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I turn off those lower blocks? I guess I'm not going to worry about it for right now.
They look pretty.
They're pretty. They're so pretty. All right. We're just going to get right into it. Apple is checking iCloud photos for known hashes of exploitive images through a database. This will only apply to images, not movies. And if the customer doesn't want their photos scanned, they'll have to not use Photos iCloud service. It has also been said without much detail that their plan is to evolve this over time, and it could expand. Now, what's probably part of the reason why this is all going on right now is that there are some European jurisdictions that are contemplating holding platforms responsible for storing and distribution of such images, even unknowingly. So Apple and Google and all of these photo sharing services won't be able to use the excuse, we didn't know they were there. So this is likely to be some kind of preemptive attempt to clear any images of this type. And why, I don't know. I mean, why people would even have them, I don't know. But it's probably an attempt on Apple's part to preemptively clear a lot of that out of their service, for lack of a better term. And I guess before we go into the comments that we've gotten so far, Dave, have you looked at this issue at all?
Oh, how can you miss it? It's been all over our news from Mac and Apple and everything else. So, the biggest thing is to understand is these are hashes that are part of these files. When they're scanning these files, all they're looking for is the hashes. They're not looking for.
They're not looking at the images.
At the image or what it is, it's just hashes. And luckily enough that these disgusting images that are showing up out there are hashed, because a lot of these people are so stupid that they have all these photos that they've downloaded from some disgusting site that's out there, and those photos electronically will get hashed, and then if they come up, then they're going to be blocked. I think it's a good thing that Apple is doing something like that, but you also, I understand the privacy concerns and what everybody's up in arms about right now, but kudos to Apple for doing it. I think it's something that needed to be done, but we also got to be weary of, are they going to be scanning other things? Is there going to be a lot of false positives? There's been chatter about that. And hey, it's illegal content. Let's face it. Let's leave it at that. As far as knowing that that's the stuff we don't want to be stored on their servers or anywhere else for that matter. But the dark web is out there, and then there's going to be stuff that unfortunately it's going to be stored out there.
Yeah, for me, this does kind of fly in the face of Apple's previous statements, where your content is your content, and
Yep.
my particular problems with something like this is when I look at Apple's past moves, and the big one to me that really throws a red flag is when they moved all of their iCloud content for the Chinese users into China, and for that to be administered by China. And they can say all the pretty words they want, but you can bet that if the Chinese government is able to review all of that content that their users are storing in iCloud, that they certainly will do so. And there's not much Apple can do to prevent it from happening, because the servers are not under Apple's control. And this was mostly due to local laws that were passed in China, and there's really nothing to prevent any other country from doing the same thing. And I guess at some point it comes down to whether Apple is going to allow these other countries to also host their own content. And will this stop at just these images, or can the criteria for the search for these hash that are part of these images be modified to look for other types of content? And whether it's images or movies or political content or messages or just about anything else that goes through iCloud, that is stored through iCloud, if there's a magic bullet that will get them into that so that they can peruse what's in there, a lot of governments, probably almost every government, would do so. And that's where I start to feel kind of nervous about moves like this. But we have a lot of comments from people on or in the Mac to the Future Facebook group. So I've put a bunch of them in there, and I asked for permission for each one of these comments before I put them in. From Derek Ian 2, is that correct? 2?
I think so.
I think so. He says it's a slippery slope. Excuse me. One hand, Apple promotes privacy, has made it their business model. It's one thing to scan photos on their server, another to invade a personal device. And remember, it doesn't matter whether these images are marked public or private in your iCloud Photos library.
Right.
They're all going to be scanned. Andrew Crook says, if you don't use iCloud Photos, it's disabled and it doesn't scan all files on your device. Apple has verified this. It's purely to stop illegal content on the iCloud photo service. And again, and he's absolutely right. If you don't want your pictures to be scanned, then don't use iCloud Photos, even though that's like a huge part of the iCloud service. But it's the only way. It's the absolute only way that you can prevent whatever images you have on your phone from being scanned. Ian Lincoln says, as long as there are no false positives. I couldn't read to my nephew in bed. Let's see if I get this right. Sister's paranoid son would mention uncle entering his bedroom and social services pouncing. Won't be able to take photos of your own kids soon. I don't know if it's quite that extreme. But when you think about it, especially when I was a wee lad, parents would take pictures of their little kids in bathtubs and stuff like that, and it was completely innocent, the kind of thing that you would show like at their wedding, 20 plus years later to embarrass them. But yeah, I don't know if images like that, and again, if the hashes aren't there as it stands right now, if it's not part of the database of images that have already been discovered, then
Right.
it shouldn't throw up a false positive. Kathy T. Great says, so I imagine that any group with a warrant, etc., now will have access. Well, in some ways, it's not that different now. I mean, that's kind of the way that works. Is
Right.
you go in front of a judge and you request access to a service of an online service of some type, and if the judge warrants that it's worthy of doing so, then he can certainly issue the means to search it. Now, whether there will be anything worthwhile getting off of that based on encryption is, I guess, would depend on the service. Jason Cutler says all the people complaining about it haven't read the details about how carefully Apple has implemented this system, which is already being done on other cloud services which host photos. That's very true. I didn't realize that. But yeah, Google, Dropbox, OneDrive. Almost all of the services
Box,
have something like
OneDrive,
this. Box, right?
Dropbox,
They all have something like this.
Google Drive, all of them. I mean, they're all
Right.
scanning it.
It's I don't know if it's done to the same degree as what Apple is doing as far as privacy goes.
I mean, just let me throw a point in there.
Yeah.
Apple wrote a white paper on this. There's a white paper, security white paper written about this whole thing, what their plan was, what they're going to do, and people are not, a lot of the press have just sensationalized this just a wee bit. I mean, if you review the security document that Apple has provided to everybody, they're following things that as well they should. I mean, I don't see why this is becoming such a huge deal, but I understand people are freaked out about privacy. There's no question about it. But I glanced through some of the details in that document, and it seemed fair enough to me what Apple's doing.
Okay, we have some other comments coming in live
Okay,
from
great.
Marcus Benjamin. The global force for good. No, that's the U.S. Navy. He also says the U.S. of A. used to be a free country. I did enjoy that. Derek says it's pronounced two.
What did you say? Two?
I thought I said. Did I say? I don't know what I said now. I'm very confused.
Well,
But
we apologize. Well, I'll apologize for you.
yeah, if I mispronounced your name, I am sorry. It was not my intention. He also says those came out for a high school graduation party, but the I guess the bathtub pictures from when we were little.
Yeah.
It certainly did for me. Yeah. Not a good thing. Not a good, at least as far as I was concerned.
That was the other thing a lot of people were questioning. Okay, does that mean I'm not going to be able to take pictures of my kid in the bathtub? I mean, you're not taking nude pictures of him. You're taking pictures of the kid because you want to have memories of your child. That's not anything disgusting. I mean, I don't think it's going to flag that. And again, it's got to have that hash in the file.
From known illegal
places,
pictures.
Illegal pictures, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Jason also says Apple ensures that they are mathematically unable to view your pictures on the device. All usual laws are upheld, and there is no slipperier.
Word?
A slope. That word than ever before. Oh God, Martin, your name is really tough. Martin Blockhus, is that it?
I'm winging it.
Okay,
Martin too.
I've met him.
He goes by Martin.
We've met him many times.
Yeah, Martin's an awesome dude.
My first thought was that I don't like it. I am that person that doesn't like it when I show you a photo, and then you start swiping through my photos. It's for your own safety, though. As long as the photos don't get public, I'm actually okay with it. I hope they don't confuse adults in the photos with children. That could get awkward. And the last one I have here is from Adam Connor. He says that he hates it. Like the statement from the EFF, that's Electronic Freedom Foundation.
Frontier Foundation.
Frontier Found. Words, 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 words. Electronic Frontier Foundation. It seems to be adaptable, and this is the part that has me concerned. It seems to be adaptable to look for other content, and thus opens the door to regimes like China or Saudi Arabia to search for dissent, and that could be a real concern. Okay, and there was one other bit to this. Apparently, if you have children that have their own phones, but they're going through your account, now according to what I was reading, Apple can't actually read the messages or view the images, but there is phrasing, I believe, is how it's set up, uh, to where if something is triggered, it alerts parents to explicit messages on their children's device. But Apple again claims that the company cannot access or read the messages themselves.
No. And these alerts pop up on both the parent's phone and the kid's phone. With a friendly message saying, are you sure you want to look at this?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you sure you want to do that? I don't know, because we're going to let your parents know too.
And then the parents get alerted. There's a possibility of, and I talked about that last week on In Touch with iOS. We talked just specifically about that part of this whole thing. I didn't get too much deep into the other part because it can get very political very easy, and I appreciated the fact that Apple is going to have those types of notifications that will pop up on the child's phone as well as the parent's phone.
So it's not being done in a vacuum.
No.
Derek also says that goes up to age 12. Derek,
right.
two.
Derek, Ian.
Derek.
Ian, or is it Ian or Ian?
Oh, don't confuse the issue. From 13 to 17, no notice to the parent, only the child. Okay, thank you, Derek. We're gonna move off this because that's just so depressing.
I think it's
the next thing I've got here now, when the M1 iMac came out, it had Eon. He says, hold on. EN.
All right.
So it's Derek EN2.
Ian. I had it right the first time.
Okay, very good. when the M1 iMac came out, it had a TouchID enabled keyboard, and everybody was wondering if Apple was going to sell it separately. Big surprise, they are. And it comes in, there's actually 3 flavors. There's one that I guess is color coded but doesn't have the built-in Touch ID. Then there's the short throw keyboard without the numeric keypad that has Touch ID, and then the full size one that has the built-in numeric keypad. And I believe the prices are $129. Is it $129 for the
$149 or $179?
Well, that's for the ones with the touchpad. I don't have the price listed here for the one.
You mean with the Touch ID?
Touch ID, yeah. I'm sorry.
The other ones are probably
$100,
$100 or $129, something like that.
So for $150 or $180,
and you have to have an M1.
Sorry,
and you have to have an M1 processor.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, it won't work with an Intel-based Mac. So $149, $179 for a keyboard with built-in Touch ID. Now, and I believe it comes in different colors as well.
I thought it was only silver.
Was it only silver?
I believe so.
I don't know. I kind of would like to have that that purple one. That looks kind of cool.
I don't think they'll be selling those colors.
Oh, that's stupid. Yeah, you want that? I guess you have to go whole hog with the iMac.
Yeah.
Apple and Netflix, I don't know if you heard about this, Dave, are reportedly in a bidding war for Jennifer Lawrence's next film, based on a super agent who dons a costume and mace-like weapons to get her best deal. I don't know why it says Dell. Her best deal.
Typo.
Much better. Much best deal. No, it's not working. Come on. There you go. For her clients. She was just recently in another movie that was streaming that was over on Netflix. And I guess there's no loyalty there, and the numbers I was hearing was that the bidding, and again, this is all rumors, that the bidding is already up over $80 million. And when you think about it, it's like a complete win-win for the studios for these kinds of deals,
Oh yeah.
because they don't have to worry about sharing the profits with the movie chains. They don't have to worry about word of mouth as far as, if it's not that great a movie, getting out into the usual places that review movies. It's just, okay, well, it doesn't cost you nothing to watch it because it's on the streaming service that you're already paying for.
Right.
So
Nope.
that's, I don't know. That just seems
Eight-
like a really weird concept
80
for a
to
movie.
up to they're saying possibly it may even reach $95 million. But ka-ching for her, man.
Yeah, and I don't know how much Apple paid for that Tom Hanks movie, Greyhound. Did you watch that?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It was okay.
I enjoyed it.
He certainly has been in a couple of World War II movies. I don't know. And the crazy part is I really thought I was going to enjoy this movie more because my father was a merchant marine that did the North Atlantic runs back in World War II. Because I'm an old fart. So he was on the Liberty boats that was going across there, except the way he kind of explained it, they didn't have much in the way. They had escorts as they left New York, and then for about half the voyage there really wasn't much of anything, and then the English would pick them up on the other side. And maybe he either got that wrong or I heard him wrong, or who knows.
70 million they paid for it, by the way.
70 million for Greyhound.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
from Sony.
And again, that's like, I mean, I don't know. When you look at what it costs to make a movie, almost half of the cost that they talk about is marketing. So if you don't have to put a lot of money into marketing, that means that you don't have to budget as much money to make movies like these. And so a lot of it is just money right into their pockets.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing I have, what time is it? Last thing I've got for this evening is 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros are said to be shipping this fall. And some of the features, they're saying no touch bar. Touch bar.
Not surprised.
Yeah. I haven't owned one that has.
I have one I'm looking at right now. I barely use it.
Yeah.
On my Intel Mac.
And it did. I don't know about some of it. They're saying that there's going to be additional ports like micro SD. Okay.
Why?
HDMI, which why? See. Well, why would you have HDMI if you've got USB-C Thunderbolt?
True.
Because you can use Thunderbolt, and it's a much smaller connector for connecting up really almost any video standard that's out there. They've got Thunderbolt and USB-C cables for just about everything.
I mean, but you got to have an adapter, because that's how I'm driving my 32-inch monitor here that I got last week through an adapter to play through HDMI.
Well, there are USB-C to HDMI cables, so you wouldn't even really need an adapter. It would just go right to that port.
Yeah, probably should look at that too.
Let's see. Is it 1, 2, or 3? I don't know what Marcus means by this.
I don't see it.
Right there.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Explain yourself.
For more than one monitor.
Oh.
Okay.
On my adapter. Yeah, it's 2.
The previous MacBook Pro, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, only had 2 USB-C ports. 2 Thunderbolt.
I'm sorry, this has one port, HDMI.
And you had to use one of them if you were going to connect it to power. So you really only had one USB Thunderbolt port that you could use for something like extra connectivity or external drives or an external monitor or the rest of that. So I would say that instead of having, micro SD maybe, but I can't see the point of having HDMI. And even MagSafe, I don't see the point of that. Instead, just give them like 4 Thunderbolt ports on one side and 2 on the other. And
that's what everybody wants. You always hear complaints that there's not enough Thunderbolt ports to hook up the devices. I mean,
so if
luckily
you've got
the MacBook Pro I have has got 4, so
yeah, I would think that 4 would be enough to connect up to all the various things that you'd have to hook up to. Plus, also, this is also supposed to have an enhanced version, whatever that means. If this is the mythical M1X or the M2 processor that's supposed to come out, when they come out with the next round of laptops, it really needs to be able, out of the box, to have more than one monitor connected to it.
Right.
That was a big, of with all the praise that Apple got for the M series Macs, because I mean they were just blazingly fast. There were a couple of things that just seemed kind of half-baked. Number of Thunderbolt ports was one. The fact that you couldn't have more than one monitor connected up easily out of the box to MacBook Air or 13-inch MacBook Pro. And of course, the Bluetooth issues that so many people, myself included, had with the Mac Minis. Now, I don't know if that also extended to MacBook Airs or MacBook Pros that were M1.
No, I never heard much about it. It was mostly Mac Minis.
I'm using in-ear monitors right now for the show, and they're wired because every single time I have tried to go to, and I've got me right here in front of me. I've got these right here. These are earphones, Bluetooth headphones, and they're actually kind of awesome for inexpensive earbuds. And I have AirPod Pros, first gen AirPod Pros.
Knock on wood, mine's been working pretty good lately. So,
well, not the last My Mac podcast, because I already had these in, but the one before that, I basically had to switch over to headphones for the last part of the first segment because I just couldn't hear Gaz anymore, and they were completely charged. I had taken them off charge just before I started to use them when we started to. Whoa, what was that?
That was my fan, sorry.
Oh, it was like, that tornado was closer than I thought.
Sorry about
that. So those are a couple things that kind of need to be taken care of. What else we got here? We got something from Derek said, and high-speed SD for content creators for getting files off camera cards. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I can agree. I can agree with that for the most part, though. I think that they're kind of moving everything over. You know what this kind of reminds me of, and hopefully it'll end better. When FireWire first came out, and all of the cameras and everything else connected up through FireWire, because there was like nothing that was faster out there. And I think that you can, for convenience, yes, to be able to take an SD or mini SD card out of a camera, plug it into your computer, drag all the stuff off of it, that's very convenient. But for sheer speed, I don't think you're going to do better than a Thunderbolt or USB-C connector.
No.
So I don't know if that's where the industry will end up going. Maybe and because essentially they could make the cameras even faster by adding some crazy amount of onboard storage into these, and then just connect it up via USB-C. And you could use that port. You could use that port for charging. You could use that port for transferring video. You could use that port if you wanted to use the camera as like a webcam, like I'm doing with this Sony, the Sony A5100. I know I keep smacking this thing. I don't know what's wrong with me. Still getting kind of used to. I really like this arm that I have, because most typical boom arms are like this right here, where it kind of pops up on one side and then goes across, and then you got that. This one starts low and just kind of comes up instead of being high and coming down, and I really like that. But every once in a while I just smack the hell out of it. Not good. What else we got? He also brings up the question, how do you two like your M1 Mac Minis? Even with the problems
I
that
love
I've
it.
had with this Mac Mini as far as Bluetooth goes, it's been phenomenal. This is probably about the fastest computer that I've ever owned. I had a 2017 27-inch iMac with the 4.2 gigahertz quad core i7, I believe. It had the 8 gigabyte Radeon card. I had 48 gigs of RAM in it. And this computer essentially blows it away as far as everything I do with video, everything I do with audio. It's amazing. It's blazingly fast. And now that I've kind of gotten my port issues straightened up, where I'm not using so many devices as I was before, I'm basically using an OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock.
Me too.
And that thing is great. And then of course I have one that's like the exact same size as the Mini that's underneath it, that has like a little built-in area for an SSD. And I got
It's right in front
I got a
of
one.
I got.
Yeah, so we kind of have the same setup as far as the computer goes. And this thing is crazy fast. But I'll tell you this right now. I love this computer. If Apple comes out with an M1X or M2 based Mac Mini or something a little bit bigger, I will be sorely tempted to do the swap. As much as I love this computer, and as much as I understand in the back of my head that I don't need a faster computer.
You don't need it.
I have 20 microphones.
You don't,
Dave.
You have,
I have 20 microphones.
I thought you had 150 microphones.
I have 156 microphones.
Is that the exact number?
That's the exact. I don't know. I actually don't know how many microphones I have.
It's over 100.
I have a lot of microphones, including a soup can one that you can see kind of standing up in the back. I should hook that up sometime before we just at the beginning of the show, so you guys can hear just how awful. Oh, it is so awful. But I have a microphone built into a soup can, which was the whole point of getting the damn thing.
Oh, you and your mics.
Oh, it is so crazy. Let's see. It was only Mac Mini, and it was an even issue with an Intel Mac. Are you talking about? I think he's talking about Bluetooth. Yeah, he must be talking about the Bluetooth issue.
Might have. I had an Intel Mac Mini, and I was able to trade it.
And then he also says, will they still have a high-end Intel Mini that needs to be evolved to Apple Silicon? I don't think they're going to do another Intel Mac Mini.
Not anymore.
I would actually be very surprised if, other than maybe the Mac Pro, if they come out with another Intel-based Mac. I just don't understand. I just don't see why they would. And if they come out with the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros, to get us back on topic somehow, other than the larger iMac, that will kind of complete their first round of ARM M series based Macs.
The 27's got to come out. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, it's got to. Or 27 or whatever size.
Or maybe even 32.
Wow, 32-inch iMac would be pretty awesome. But I still would not be tempted to get. I actually don't have any desire to get an iMac. When they first came out, I was thinking, oh God, am I going to do something stupid and get an iMac? And I went down to, there's a chain here. I think you have one in your area too, Micro Center.
Yeah.
And I went in, and that was like the first place I saw the color-coded iMacs. And I looked at it in beautiful
color-coded?
Color matched.
The different colors.
Yeah. And they're beautiful. The screens are gorgeous.
I was at an Apple store. I saw them.
I have no desire to get one.
I don't either.
I've got these two 4K Dell monitors, 27-inch Dell monitors. You have that 32-inch. What is it? A 5K,
4K,
4K? Okay,
UHD.
yeah.
4K.
And it's like, why? Why would I? Why would I want to go back to
Now
a
I got this thing.
24-inch?
I'm like in heaven for a while.
Well, I saw it. Now I don't know. You posted a picture of that over in the group, didn't you? Where you had
when it showed I can do picture by picture, or I can
on 2 different computers.
2 different computers are hooked to this computer right now, and at this monitor, and I can have Mac Mini on one and MacBook Pro on the other, and they don't
That's
transfer, but I have I have my keyboards are just
well, you
up
could
above.
set it up that way.
Oh, and I could with if I did an iPad, I could do a sidecar kind of thing, or even the connectivity.
Well, no, I mean just swap files between the 2 computers.
Oh, right, yeah, the files would just by file sharing over AirPlay.
That would be
nuts.
That would be completely nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I got to start thinking about moving. He's right. They are still selling the Intel.
Well, they still sell it, but they're not going to come out with a new one.
So that's a 2018 model, that Intel Mac Mini.
And I think that'll be the last Intel-based Mac Mini.
I'm pretty sure.
We're not going to see another Intel-based MacBook Air. We're not.
No.
We're not going to see another Intel-based MacBook Pro.
Other than Pro.
Other than the Pro, they might come out with a new Mac Pro that's Intel based.
There was rumors about a smaller size Mac Pro, like a
But the one they have right now isn't that big. It's like a mini 2010, 2012 Mac Pro.
Yeah,
and that's got up to.
It's a good size. The Mac Pro, the computer, it's a pretty good size.
What is that? Up to a 24 core, or is it
something
more?
like that? I think you could put like at least 8 or 10 drives in it.
Yeah, as long as if you have the money, they will sell you. They will sell you a computer.
Spend $15,000 on that thing easy.
On just the computer.
Yeah.
Wheels extra.
The wheels are extra. Right? Which is the same. That's a whole other story.
Well, I think that is going to do it for tonight, Dave.
Yep.
It was a good show. So if people wanted to get a hold of you, how the hell would they do it?
They go to In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. You go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/DaveG65. You also find me on the Mac Show on Fridays with the British Tech Network. We've been having a lot of fun doing that show. And, of course, on Tuesday nights, which is the next tomorrow, Mac Voices Live with Chuck Joyner and our crew.
God, I hope I make it this time.
Hope you can make it. We haven't had
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been missing. Chuck was going to be going out of town, but he is not now. So we have a live show tomorrow. So
he could have just asked me to host.
No.
Yeah. Chuck is smarter than that. He is so much smarter than that. All right. If you would like to get a hold of me, the email address is guy@mymac.com. You can also reach me on the Twitters. I am MacParrot and or VertShark over there on the Twitters. If you would like to subscribe to all the different videos that I make, all you have to do is go on over to YouTube, look up VertShark, and you will find them all right there. So just like, share, subscribe. Did you see it the first time? Like, share, subscribe. Besides this show right here, I also do the My Mac podcast. That I've been doing that for 11 years with Gaz, and Guy's Daily Drive, which is kind of on a once-a-week schedule now. You can find all of those things all over there on YouTube. If you want the audio version of it, all you got to do is just look up Guy's Daily Drive in podcasts, and it'll turn up there. And you'll also get the audio version of this show in that feed, as well as sort of an abbreviated version of the My Mac podcast. You won't get the after show from the My Mac podcast if you listen to it via the Guy's Daily Drive feed. Got to save something for just that. And of course, if you would like to help contribute to my ever-growing microphone collection, just go on over to patreon.com/MacParrot. Buy me a coffee, ko-fi.com /MacParrot. And you can pay a pal over there at paypal.me/MacParrot. That's it. Okay. Anyway, thank you all so very, very much for joining us this evening. Thanks for all of the great comments. which led to content. So,
Thank you.
it wasn't a complete brain fart there. We really appreciate the fact that you have joined us this evening. Dave, thank you so very much for being on. I know this
Thank you,
was
as
kind
always.
of a tender subject this evening. Little
Yeah.
can be a little uncomfortable at times, but these are things that we got to talk about. So
Yes.
anyway, we will please join us hopefully next Monday night right here on the Mac to the Future Livecast Go episode 194. Coming up on 200. I don't know what we're going to do that's so special. Probably nothing. We'll see you all next time. Bye.